Welcome to WSHS Algebra 1 Virtual Tutor. Today our topic is simplifying addition, subtraction, multiplication of expressions containing radicals. So the radicand must be the same in order for you to add or subtract only. So it's just like combining like terms. You can only combine x's with x's. Same idea here. You can only combine the square root of 2 with the square root of 2. So if we look at example 1, we have negative 2 square root 5 plus 3 square root 5. Our steps say to simplify the radicals first. Well, if I look at square root of 5, I can't break that down. So that's just going to stay the same. But 45 I can break down. 45 breaks down to 9 and 5. 5 is prime. And 9 is 3 and 3. And those are both prime. So when I go to simplify this, I have 3 square root 3 times 5. Remember, you're taking out twins if it's a square root. So the 3's come out as 1. You had a 3 in front, square root 5. And when we do this, 3 times 3 is 9. So we end up getting 9 square root 5 plus negative 2 square root 5. Now we ask ourselves the questions, are these radicands the same? They are. They're both the square root of 5. So you keep the square root of 5, but you will add the numbers in front. So we have negative 2 plus 9. And negative 2 plus 9 will end up giving you 7 square root 5. Again, that square root of 5 just gets carried down. It's like an x. So if it was negative 2x plus 9x, it would make 7x. This is the square root of 5. So it's negative 2 plus 9 square root of 5 gives you 7 square root of 5. Letter B, same idea. We have negative 2 square root 3 minus the square root of 12. The 3 radical of 3 I can't break down, so that's going to say negative 2 square root 3. I'm going to carry down my subtraction sign as well as I go. So carry that down. And now we have 12 to break down. 12 breaks down to 4 and 3. 3 is prime. 4 breaks down to 2 and 2, both prime. When I rewrite this inside my radical, you're taking out twins. So we only have one set of 2, and they come out as 2 square root 3. Now we look at this. Are our radicands the same? Yes. We have the square root of 3 and square root of 3. So we have square root of 3. And now we're going to combine the numbers in front. Negative 2 minus 2. Negative 2 minus 2 makes negative 4 square root 3 will be your final answer. Letter C, we're getting a little bit more difficult. We're adding in an extra term, but it's the same thing, okay? So we have negative 2 square root 54 plus 3 square root 2 minus the square root of 6. Again, you want to break down what you can. I can break down 54. 54 breaks down to 9 and 6. 6 is 2 and 3. 9 is 3 and 3. So we have negative 2 square root 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. We take out twins. So we have negative 2 times 3 square root 2 times 3. And that gives us negative 2 square root 6. 3 square root 2 plus 3 square root 2. I can't break that down, so I'm just going to carry it down. Plus 3 square root 2. And if you look at 6, you're like, yeah, 6 breaks down to 2 and 3. But when we think about that, we have no twins. So this will actually stay minus the square root of 6, and you're just going to carry that down as well. Remember that this is minus 1 square root of 6. You need to put in the coefficient 1. Now when we go to combine like terms, negative 2 square root 6 goes with negative 1 square root 6. So it's negative 2 minus 1 square root 6 plus 3 square root 2. Negative 2 minus 1 gives us negative 3 square root 6 plus 3 square root 2. Now I cannot combine negative 3 with a plus 3 because their square roots are not the same. Their radicals are different. One's a radical of 6 and one's a radical of 2. So this is your final answer. Now let's try the you try. If I try to break down 3, that does not work, so it's 3 square root 3. If I try to break down 2, that also doesn't work, so I just carry it all down, minus 3 square root 2. 12 I can break down. It breaks down to 3 and 4 and 2 and 2. So we have 2 square root 2, 2, 3. Take out twins. We have 2 times 2 square root 3, and it's a plus sign. So we end up getting plus 4 square root 3. Now we go to see what combines together. 3 square root 3 goes with 4 square root 3. And again, you're just adding the numbers in front. 3 plus 4 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 2. 3 plus 4 is 7 square root 3 minus 3 square root 2. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is your final answer. Moving along, we now have multiplication. Multiplication is even easier. In order to do multiplication, you want to multiply the outside numbers, multiply the inside numbers, and then you simplify. So, our outside numbers for our first radical is 1 times the outside number of the second radical is negative 5. So together that gives me negative 5 on the outside. On the inside, we have 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Now that I've multiplied the insides and the outside numbers together, I now simplify my square root. 20 breaks down into 4 and 5. 5 is prime. 4 breaks down to 2 and 2. 2's are prime. We get negative 5 square root 2 times 5. We don't want to take out twins. Our twins are the 2's, so they come out as 1, 2. And negative 5 times 2 is negative 10 square root 5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your final answer. Letter B, same idea. Multiply the outsides, multiply the insides, and simplify. Our outside numbers for letter B are 1 and 1. So that's just going to give us 1 square root, and now we have to multiply 15 times 12. So we get 1 square root, 15 times 12 is 180. And if you haven't realized this yet, when you get 180, two factors of 180 are 15 and 12. So you can break this right back down to 15 and 12. When you break down 15, you then get 3 and 5. When you break down 12, you can get 3 and 4, and then 2 and 2. Plug this back inside my square root. We get 2, 2, 3, 3, 5. Taking out twins, I end up getting 2 and a 3 come out. Square root 5, which then is 6 square root 5. So using this little trick, breaking down 180 with 15 and 12, that's exactly what you multiply to get 180. So that'll just save you some time. Letter C. Outsides, negative 2 times 3. Insides, 10 times 10. Negative 6 square root 100. 100 breaks down to 10 and 10, 2 and 5, 2 and 5. Circle twins. Negative 6 square root 2, 2, 5, 5. Find twins. Negative 6 times 2 times 5, and there's nothing left over, so I do not need my square root anymore. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 5 will give us negative 60 as our final answer. On to the you try. You have multiplication, so it's 3 times negative 2 to give me negative 6, and 2 times 12 to give me 24. Again, 24 will break down into 2 and 12. 12 breaks down to 2 and 6, and 2 and 3. Prime, prime, prime. Carry down your negative 6 in front. Square root 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Taking out twins, negative 6 times 2, square root 2 times 3. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12, square root 6 is your final answer. Letter B, outsides, negative 2 times negative 3. Insides, 10 times 10. Negative 6, square root 100. Square root of 100 is a perfect square, which equals 10. Negative 6 times 10 is negative 60. And if you did not notice, this was the exact same problem as example C. For our practice problems, our first two are addition, so we're adding, and subtraction here. And then our last two are both multiplication, so just be aware we do each problem a little bit differently. So if we look at number 1, we have to break down the 18 first. 18 breaks down to 6 and 3. 3 is prime, 6 is 2 and 3. Negative 3, square root 2 times 3 times 3. Take out twins. The 3's come out, negative 3 came down from the front, and we're left over with the 2 in the square root. Negative 9, square root 2. 2 square root 2, I do not have to break down. You cannot break down 2 any further, so I just carry it down, plus 2 square root 2. Again, the radicals will stay the same, so it'll be square root of 2, and you're combining negative 9 plus 2. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. And that's your final answer. Number 2, 24. 24, 3 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. Negative 3, square root 2, 2, 2, 3. Take out twins. Negative 3, 2, square root 2 times 3 to give us negative 6, square root 6. Negative 2, square root 2, I can't break down. Negative 2, square root 2, I can't break down. So I go and find what I can combine. I can combine the negative 2 square root 2 with the negative 2 square root 2. So again, these two go together. Square root of 2, negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4, and negative 6 square root 6 just gets carried down. And that is your final answer. That's addition and subtraction. On to multiplication. Remember, multiplication is multiply the outsides, multiply the insides, and simplify. So outsides are 3 and 3. Insides are 4 and 6. 9 square root 24. 24 breaks down into 4 and 6, 2 and 2, 2 and 3. 9 square root 2, 2, 2, 3. You want to take out twins. 9 times 2, square root 2 times 3. 18 square root 6 is your final answer. And number 4, same idea. Negative 5 times negative 3, square root 6 times 15. When we multiply the outsides, we get positive 15, and the inside gives us 90. Again, break down that 90 with the 6 and the 15 that you just used. 15 breaks down to 3 and 5. 6 is 2 and 3. So we get 15 square root 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Circle twins. We only have a set of 3, so they come out. So you have 15 times 3 square root 2 times 5. 15 times 3 is going to give us 45. I can move my page. Square root 10 is your final answer. That concludes our lesson on operations of radicals. Please complete the practice.